Welcome to the lab. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, everybody. A lot has happened in the last 30 minutes. Chatham County Police Department confirms that the FBI has notified the family that they do believe that Quinton Simon is deceased. I don't know if they have recovered his body. I don't know what evidence they have. I don't know. But I know that this leaked just a little while ago. And it has been talked about so nonchalantly. And, but the worst case scenario has been confirmed. It's also been confirmed that the mother is the prime suspect in this case. And thank you, Perfect Imperfection. I appreciate you saying that. It looks as though we are going to have an ending to this case. Unfortunately, the ending seems to be completely tragic. Police say 20-month-old Quinton Simon believed to be dead. Chatham County, Georgia. WSAV police told WSAV that Quinton Simon, the 20-month-old child, is believed to be dead. Police also said that Quinton's mom, Leilani, is the prime suspect in the case. Quinton was last seen October 5th at 6 a.m. and was reported missing a few hours later. His mother, Leilani Simon, told police on October 5th that she woke up and her little boy was gone. And on Wednesday, federal investigators were back in Quinton's neighborhood, and they brought a search dog where they searched behind the neighbor's home, but left about 45 minutes after arriving. WSAV knows that the police are processing evidence for their case. Let me see here. And that they have data from at least one cell phone, as well as the stuff they took from Quinton's home. And police have acknowledged that along with looking for a missing person, Quinton's case is also a criminal investigation. WSAV was told that Chatham County Police will have an update on Thursday. It's a development following Tuesday's update saying that they had evidence that they believe would move this case forward. WSAV doesn't know what key piece of evidence is, and so far, not a hint of what Thursday's update might be. There's a press conference scheduled for tomorrow. Let's see. Rhonda Pierce, thank you so much. Let me chat highlight. Adjust this a little bit. Yeah, wow. I couldn't have children would give anything to have a sweet little child like Quentin then there are people who have precious babies and treat them like garbage. This is the worst. I can't disagree. I can't disagree. And from the leaked, from the leaked messages that were going around, it sounds like the mother, Leilani, and unfortunately, I was holding out and talking to some people behind the scenes that are relatively close to this situation, extremely close to this situation, and they had not even been able to confirm it until just 5 minutes ago, maybe 10 at the most. And I'm talking about people that are at the center, possibly, of this case. Maybe not involved, but there. And it's just the other day we were talking about Chloe Campbell and how she was found, and we were celebrating that she was found. And today is not that day. There is no celebrating. There's no win. There's no nothing. There's just, once again, we're reminded of a world that we live in where things like this happen, and they happen all the time. How these things happen, most of us will never know. We'll never understand, because that's not in us, but it is in some people. Families killing family members. I know a thing or two about it, but this, to me, is the ultimate betrayal of humanity. Your own mother, the giver of life, the one that the child reaches for when he's hurt, when he's hungry, and when he's scared. And I'm not going to get all upset and reactive and bawl my eyes out here. That's just not going to happen, because I got some stuff I want to say about this. This is the ultimate betrayal. It gets no worse than a parent murdering their own, or, look, we don't know if it's murder, but she's saying that she has no recollection of what happened. And I got something to tell you, Leilani, and I saw her cover her face as she was leaving the house today, and shame on you for covering your face. Shame on you for doing that. Let me see. I'm sorry. Where did that go? And perfect imperfection. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. But I'm going to tell you right now, Leilani, not that you'll probably ever hear this, because hopefully they're on their way to arrest you. But what I got to choose my words carefully. And I need to calm down and just kind of focus, reset here. I wasn't prepared to come on. Many people have experienced amnesia, and that defense just doesn't hold up in court. If you did it, you did it. If you did it, you did it. Doesn't matter if you remember it or not. It doesn't matter. Which, by the way, is a lie, again, because that's really your own. Look, she stepped all the way in it, and she doesn't know how to get out of it. So she lied to the police immediately. And then what she does is now she's claiming amnesia. But apparently they believe that this young man, and this is still speculation, they believe that this young man was found in the trash, or that he's in a landfill somewhere. They've believed that from the first couple of days. They've been searching garbage cans, dumpsters, landfills. Lisa's son says, so very sad. It's hard to believe. Notice how Danny was missing from any reference of Danny or anything, hasn't been put out there yet. And I'll tell you right now, I have no reason to believe that he had anything to do with this. I've been in contact with the folks that he's with and him. But that's going to be for the police to decide, not me. I don't know what Danny has to do with this. I don't know the kid. And, I really hope that he has nothing to do with this at all. But Leilani is the prime suspect, and that's been made very, very clear. That's been made very, very clear by law enforcement. Yes, it is so very sad. It is hard to believe that anybody would do anything like that. I am Perfect Imperfection. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Appreciate that very much. It's not that I don't know what to say. It's that I want to be careful about how I say it, because, there have been some instances there. Believe it or not, we were one of the first channels to pick up on this story, and it did take off like wildfire. Which, that's what happens in a lot of these cases that are so asinine. And when I first covered the story, I didn't think that it was going to be some big story. We moved on to not moved on, but we also did, we were doing Chloe Campbell and Jalissa and all these, other stories. And then this story just unfortunately kept getting worse and worse and worse. Every day it got worse. Every day it looked worse. And every moment that passed, hope faded. Hope faded from him being alive and well. Nobody, and I mean Nobody believed that that young man wandered off or that somebody walked into that house and took him out unless it was the mother. And it had, you know, I want to say, I agree. 6 days of hell. Look, it's been a week, and it's been a terrible, terrible week. You never expect these cases to end the way that they do. You never expect it, because what mother would do that to their child? Now, look, there are mentally ill people out there. There are people that shouldn't be in custody of the kids, and that's going to be a huge part of this case going forward. If she's going to claim amnesia, if she's going to say that she's crazy, she's going to have to prove all that. But what I'm telling you right now is her saying that she doesn't remember won't hold 1 ounce of water when it comes to this trial. They won't care if they have the evidence. And by the way, they shouldn't, because you can't just walk around. You cannot just walk around committing crimes and saying, you know what? I don't remember that. I was drunk. I was high. Too bad. That doesn't matter. That'll never matter. So keep that up, and you're still going to either spend the rest of your life in prison or maybe a fate even worse. We have all seen the amnesia approach. It doesn't work. Now, if that makes her feel better, then fine. Whatever makes her sleep better at night, I hope she gets great rest, because the cots in prison aren't going to be good. And I'm telling you that right now. She's a 22-year-old girl who will at least, at minimum, spend the rest of her life in prison. So I'm glad, Leilani, that you covered your face, because nobody wants to see it. You're a disgrace. Whether it was an accident or whether it was intentional, none of that matters. You hit it. You hid it. That's what you did. You hid what you had done, what was done. Then you tried to tell everybody in the world that his biological father had him, knowing damn well. So are you telling me that because you don't remember, but somehow you remember the fact that you're going to try and get yourself off the hook by saying that, and then you put that on the father? You put that on the father? How is that? It's just such a rotten thing. I mean, it really is. Hold on 1 second, folks. Sorry. And Jamie Johnson, thank you so much for that $1 super sticker. I appreciate that very much. Eve says, hug your babies, grandbabies, fur baby, all of them. All of them. Right. She knew to cancel the babysitter. She certainly knew to cancel the babysitter. She didn't forget that. She didn't forget to come up with a really good excuse, or actually, it was a terrible excuse. But what she thought that people were going to, how long do you think the jig was going to go on? That to me is what is just amazing. She thought somehow she was going to worm her way out of this. And she tried. Don't pretend that she didn't try. Because that's what she did. And then you see the grandmother. And by the way, I want to say this on behalf of the grandmother. I understand. Okay, I don't actually understand, but I'm trying to understand the pain and everything that is going on. But the way that you attack that woman who only seemed to do nothing but care about this child was wrong, and it was misplaced anger. But I understand that emotions are high, were high, and will continue to be high forever. These are the things that live on for generations. They already have a young man in the family who was sentenced for 15 years for an egregious murder back in 2009 or 10. And here we go again. And now it's even worse. It's even worse. It just, all it does is it gets worse and worse. And you know, if you watch these, if you've watched these shows in the last week, you know, the escalation of this just it got worse and worse by the day. You knew. And I said this the other day, and I'm not taking any credit. I'm not Nostradamus. I think everybody felt this way, but we were headed for a bad ending the entire time because there wasn't one thing that led you to believe anything positive was coming out of this. And the fact of the matter that the very first day or the second day that this case was being talked about, and they talked about the goddamn landfills, excuse my language, the landfills, that it was garbage day. Garbage day. That's what it was, garbage day. Quentin is a human, a little person. He was a little guy. He was just a little guy. And we're talking about searching in dumpsters and landfills. And it was garbage day. Garbage day. Oh, yeah, garbage day. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I have no recollection of what happened. And I don't know if they're going to find him there or not. I don't know if they found him or not. There's a press conference tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll get a bunch more details. And shout out to law enforcement for working so diligently on this case and reacting in a major way and taking that house apart piece by piece. Forget your pool. No one cares about your stupid pool. That was one of the most insensitive remarks. They drained your pool and they may have damaged it. Tough ski shit skis. Who cares? Should be more worried about not only, look, she's losing. Now grandma is going to lose daughter and baby Quentin. Baby Quentin. Yo, main girl says, Josh, thank you for covering this with class and staying the course. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Margot says, how many friggin' more cases like this are we going to have? I mean, it's a great question. It's a fair question. It's a very fair question. Who knows? They just keep humming. They keep happening. Apparently, a bunch of people around the world or around the globe, people are walking right into people's homes while they're all there and kidnapping children, and then nobody knows what the hell happened afterwards. That is what we're talking about these days, folks. That's what we're talking about. That's the excuse that people are using. Haley Cummings, the back door was propped open with the cinder block. Somebody came in the trailer. She was sleeping with her brother. Nobody woke up. Casey Anthony, Zanny the nanny. I mean, there's no good lie for this. Dawn and Candace, I hope you're listening, because guess what? Nobody believes your shit either. I'm sorry, I'm cussing a lot. I gotta not. I'm sorry.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
Nobody believes you either, Dawn and Candace. Nobody believes that stupid story. And if you do, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. Nobody believes you. And just like little Kaylee thrown into the woods, thrown into the woods, like it's nothing. Duct tape around her face. Let's not, you know what? We really don't need to sugarcoat this stuff, because it is what it is. It is the worst part of humanity that you're going to see. That little boy that's on the screen right there deserved people who loved and cared about him. He seemed to have been failed by a lot of people. And I do want to say this. God bless the babysitter. God bless the babysitter. I know some people are going to say, well, look, if she saw bruising on the young man and she didn't report him, she's in trouble. Now, we don't know if that did or didn't happen, and we'll have to wait to see what is said about that kind of stuff, because I don't know. But I look at that face, and look, I have children. They're not little anymore, but they once were. And I remember them sounding just that same way. I was talking to Linda about it the other day. Yet this is such a cute age for a child. Well, sometimes at 2 years, it's two extremes. They don't quite know how to express their anger. So, they can throw real fits, but then they're like they can be the sweetest little cuddly thing that, you know, just full of love and admiration and looking to you for everything. They're helpless. 20-month-old kid is helpless. When I say helpless, they can't do a thing for themselves. Not one thing. I can't think. Maybe hold their bottle, or maybe ask kind of for some food, or, you know, whatever. But there's nothing that you can do. You're relying on everything. The kid couldn't even fight back if he wanted to. If he wanted to fight back, he couldn't. There would have been no way. He's just a little child. He's just a baby. Thank you very much, Lisa Sund. I appreciate that. Thank you. This is devastating and sad. This is for your swear jar. Love you. Thank you, Sleuthing Sandy. I appreciate it. And I got your message. You know, you're always here and loved. Not just, I mean, it blows my mind. It blows my, there are so many amazing parents in this world, and you know, they don't get enough credit for the things that they do and the sacrifice. Being a parent is hard. It is so hard. My grandmother receives phone calls from her children who are in their 60s, and they're like, "Mom this," or "Mom that," and I'm going, Your mother is," and I say, "Grandma, you're 80 years old. You don't need to worry about what they have grandchildren of their own." And she says, "Josh, you never stop being a parent. Those are my babies." You can't convince her otherwise, because it's just not in her. It's not in her. She'd very well take a baseball bat to somebody's head for her children, but not to her children. That's a ruler on the butt. It's much different. And boy, have I deserved it many a time. Many a time. And when people don't, you know, we've had this in the past where somebody's not telling something that went on, something severe in the family that's went on, and they, and out of some goodness of their heart, they don't share because they don't want to worry her. And she finds out after the fact. She's saying, "You don't have to protect me. I'm the one that has always protected you." Don't spare my feelings. I've been doing this a lot longer. Really, Josh? I don't know that. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but if I said it, I meant it. That's, I don't know. What are we talking about? Oh, I get it. I got you. I got what you're saying. I'm picking it up. Canadian Cookie says your grandmother is 100% right. Amen to that. Yep. She is. And the fact that I tried to say anything contrary, she just wasn't having it, right? She wasn't having it. And I don't blame her. I was wrong. Amber times 2. And let's see. Love Pink, thank you so much for gifting 5 new memberships. That's so generous of you. I have 5 grandbabies. Let me see here. I love Pink. That's very generous of you. Look, there's not a punishment harsh enough for what is transpiring now, and I want to reiterate this fact, and I want you to make sure you follow along with me while I say this, because it is what it is. Whether or not it was an accident, and by all accounts, I don't know if it was or not. None of that matters anymore. None of that matters anymore, and I'll tell you why. Because you tried to hide it. That's why. That she tried to hide it, people. Folks, she tried to hide it. She covered her face. The first time anybody's seen her all day today. She covered her face. Oh, don't look at me. Don't look at me. Oh, you should walk of shame. The walk of shame, huh? It's a terrible, terrible look. It's just sick. Gwen, 4 months. Thank you so much, Gwen. I appreciate that. Oh, yeah. Sometimes I misbehaved. And you know, I'm not exactly, I wouldn't say I'm old, but I wouldn't say that I'm not super young either. I come from a household and people that would spank you. And, I know that can be a very controversial thing. It certainly can be a very controversial thing, but here's the difference. I probably earned every single one that I got. It wasn't like I got a spanking because that was what happened right before you go to bed, just because you were you. And certainly at 20 months old, and those kind of things weren't happening. You're not going to teach a 20-month-old baby something like that. Oh, I don't believe that it was an accident at all. I don't believe it was an accident at all. I mean, what indicates, the sheer cover up. I'm telling you, the trash day. The fact that was what we were talking about. Trash day. Killing innocent children. I'll tell you why I believe in heaven and hell. And, I'm not going to get religious on you, but this is why. I just don't think that you get to do those kind of things in this life and not pay for them. And the rest of the people who are living right get the same fate in the end. I just have a major problem with that. I just don't think that the universe and God and would allow that. I mean, how? Like, in no way is that. In no way is that logical. I mean, it just defies all logic to me. You can't. How can somebody who loves and cherishes their children and takes care of them have the same eternal fate as somebody like a Casey Anthony or what looks like a Leilani? I don't understand it, but that's a totally different subject for a different day. What we have here, folks, is evil, and what happened was evil. And that little boy and those kids that were in that house were the only pure thing that there was. Those kids are innocent. They're still innocent. I mean, you got a 4-month-old that now is going to grow up without the mother, and you also have a 3-year-old that's wondering where his brother and sister are, where his mom's going, and he'll grow up with that. That is what they're looking towards. The ramifications of this kind of stuff live on. The only way that I can describe it is taking a pebble and throwing it into a mill pond and just watching that pond and the ripples expand. At the very center is the biggest disruption. And as the ripples expand, the disruption's not as big, but it's still problems. I'll tell you, I'll just share this with you. Last summer, not this summer, but the last summer, my father came up for parole. It was a devastating, tough time for especially my grandma. Okay, this is 30-something years after the fact. I just got a letter in the mail 2 days ago that because of his advanced age, they're going to put him up again for parole in March. It never stops. It never ends. It's a friggin' nightmare that just keeps going and going. And you're like, how long am I going to have to deal with this? Can't you just disappear already? No. They're going to deal with this forever. That kid's going to these kids are going to go to school and they're going to get picked up by whoever, whoever's going to be in charge of them and have custody. And kids are going to go, well, where's your mom? And they're going to have to tell that story over and over. They're going to have to tell that story over and over and over again. for the rest of their lives. Might as well staple it to someone's forehead. It's amazing, right? Amazing. Parole. Parole. For a cold-blooded murder. That didn't happen back in the old days. And it shouldn't. It shouldn't happen. Yeah, it absolutely should be life in prison. And that, look, folks, I mean, come on. It doesn't get any more heinous than this. It just doesn't. I think about that case, Angel Nicole Overstreet. She was, 9 months old when she went missing? 9 months old. Nobody's seen her in years. Nobody's seen Angel Nicole Overstreet in it's been what, almost 2 years? 2 years. Is there anybody that thinks, and by the way, the father says that he turned the child over to child services. And he's serving a sentence for something unrelated. The laws, and I get it, you have to have beyond a reasonable doubt. I'll tell you what reasonable doubt is. I reasonably doubt that he was much of a father at all. And I'm telling you this, if he was supposed to be in possession of his child and have custody of his child, and he's claiming that he turned it over to the state, and then the state says, no, you never did that. Why? How have they not strapped him to a wall with duct tape and flick him in the forehead every minute of every day until he talks? Oh, but he has rights. Yeah, he has the same rights as the little baby. Those are the rights that he has. Kids don't just vanish. Yes, they certainly do get, quote unquote, abducted, and they certainly do wander off. They certainly do wander off. Cindy Smith says drugs are no excuse. Linda says you have the most caring and beautiful people in your chat. I want to tell you guys this. Because you always compliment me, but I do want to say this. This audience is the most intelligent, thoughtful, educated chat ever. And I thank you guys. I thank you guys for being here and supporting what we do here on the lab. And it has been, bumps and ups and downs, but I'm telling you right now that you guys are the reason that I made it through tough situations. And sometimes when I'm not feeling in a great mood or whatever, and people say, Josh, you should stream more, you should do this, you should do that. And I'm trying, I promise you I am. But this group of that we have now has made it so much easier for me, because I appreciate all of you, and you're the best audience I've ever had. And when I see, and I'm talking about the current audience right now, there's people that have come and gone, and they were great people and they left for whatever reason, and that's all well and fine. But I'm talking about exactly, and Linda's right, tonight, the last month, you guys are amazing, and you deserve, this is your channel. And we do it the way that you want to do it, because we all feel the same way. Sometimes we can disagree, and sometimes we don't see eye to eye. But this community, this thing that we have is unlike any other. I've seen a lot of audiences. I've seen a lot of chats. I've seen a lot of chats. You guys are amazing, and I just, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for supporting and sticking with me. It means everything. But this isn't about me. This is about Quinton Simon, and I just wanted to let you know. And honestly, I'm really trying to respond to comments. I'm telling you, I read every single comment. I do. So keep them coming. Keep them coming. And we're going to get back to call-in shows and things like that. We're going to make it more interactive. Monday, again, we're going to have members Monday that will be released a few days later to everybody, so nobody is left out. A lot of memberships get gifted over here. Some of the most I've ever seen, because you guys are amazing. You guys are absolutely amazing. I spoke with Jolissa Fuentes' sister again today. She just shared her disbelief and shock still that she went on from, we can't find my sister, to I can't believe she's gone. And that was the message that she conveyed to me today. That she can't believe that she's gone. And this is the early stages of that for that family. So keep them in your thoughts, and if you pray, keep them in your prayers as well. They are special, and extremely grateful for the things that law enforcement did in that case. And by the way, in this case as well, the police have done a fantastic job. And they've worked hard and tirelessly. And God bless the local police department for allowing other agencies to come in and help fully. We need more of that. Let's see. We got a new member as well. I don't want to miss it here. Woolhall. Is that how you pronounce it? Did I miss it? I didn't want to miss it. Oh man. It really is. It really is, Cherry and Max. It really is. Pat, thank you so much. It says, R.I.P. little man. You are a beautiful soul. He's just, that face. All kids are cute. I get it, but this young boy, they're just precious. That's not even the right word, because there's more to it than just that. I mean, this young boy is pretty amazing. Wohall, welcome, new member. Thank you for becoming a member. I really do appreciate that. It is. I know. Look at his eyes. Honestly, look at those eyes, and how anybody. That's another thing. I can already feel that she's gonna fight this in court. Really, what she should do is just say, you know what, I did it. Lock me up. I plead guilty. So on, and then wherever she goes and whatever happens to her, let her fade into the abyss of nothingness, so we never have to mention her scumbag name again. I'll tell you that right now. Just go away. You're gonna fight this, and the reason you're gonna fight this is because you're selfish. You don't want to admit that what you did was a terrible thing. Cherry LaFour became a new member, and she is a master splinter. Thank you for joining. Yeah, honestly, she's going to get a lawyer, and if she doesn't already have a lawyer, and here's what's going to happen, and I'm telling you this right now. Postpartum. Once again, none of those are good reasons. I'm not saying there is a good reason. She doesn't have a good reason. Trust me, she doesn't have a good reason. Linda, drive safely. There's no good reason. I mean, there's just no. Not that I would even entertain any reason at all, because she could say anything. It wouldn't matter to me. And it wouldn't matter to most juries. And I'm telling you, she knows exactly what she did, because she lied to the police. She lied to the police and tried to somehow implicate the father of the baby, like he did something to her, when in fact it was her all along. And I'm telling you, I didn't, and I haven't. I don't believe that Danny's involved. I don't know why. I just don't. I just don't. Well, let me tell you this, and so, you know, I've been in contact with the people that Danny is with, and, you know, I'm not going to tell you what, you know, him and I have spoken about, but nothing incriminating, because he can't tell me anything anyway, and I wasn't asking. But according to him, and, you know, obviously I can't verify this, and this is according to him, and I would expect him to say nothing different, that Leilani failed a polygraph and that he passed a polygraph, and that they took Leilani's phone and they gave him his stuff back and told him it was okay to leave town. And that's what he did. Kelly, yes, I don't know. I didn't ask that. I didn't ask that. Obviously, this is for law enforcement to figure out. I'm just telling you what I had heard. And I like I said, I don't know. I don't know if he texted the babysitter. But apparently, and once again, when Danny found out that Leilani failed her polygraph, that he took off. Now, I don't know if that is any true or not. Yeah, he could be. Yeah, of course he could. Yeah, Kelly K, I couldn't tell you why she would do that. I don't know. Now, he doesn't have custody of the child. That is confirmed, by the way, that the child is with. That they're taken care of right now. Willow, he didn't leave his baby. They took the children. He didn't have a choice. They took the children into custody, which made sense. They got a major investigation going on here, and they didn't know who was who. But yes, we will find out soon. New member, welcome to. Thank you so much for becoming a member. They should have taken the children. That is the dad didn't live in town, so I don't know. I thought he left before they took kids. I don't know. But the fact is he wasn't able to take them. To take the child. And by the way, if you listen to the babysitter talk about Danny, she doesn't really have a bad word to say about him. I'm not saying that proves anything other than he seemed to be a polite kid. That's the best I can tell you on that front. I don't know anymore. But yes, Callie, there is supposed to be a press conference tomorrow. If this were my grandbaby, I could not be on social media. And by the way, that's another very interesting point. I don't know how old the grandmother is, but I've heard that she's like in her mid to late 40s. I really don't know. But as time goes by and social media has really become, a highlight on, anywhere from 12 years old to, 55, 60-year-olds now. Some use Facebook, some use Twitter, some use Instagram, some use all. And nothing seems to be private anymore. I certainly wouldn't be on social media. Mary P. Josh, did he say anything about leaving during the night? The key gal said he was mad at her for leaving during the night and she lied to him about it. I can't confirm that, but there are neighbors saying that she definitely did leave that night. So I don't know. Let me see here. Karina Lynn says, thank you, Josh, for covering this. I know how painful this is. It's affecting everyone in the room here. Maybe we, Quentin, can feel our love. Yeah, I hope so. Man. He definitely, where the wind blows, yes. It's been stated by neighbors. But once again, I can't confirm that. But what I can confirm is that the police do say that 20-month-old Quinton Simon is believed to be dead. And that's a headline that we were expecting. And it's one of those things where you're expecting the worst, but you're hoping for the best. But as this situation went on and on and on, it became clear by the minute, by the hour, by the day, and now we're at a week, that this was not going to end well. It wasn't, it didn't have the feel of something that was going to resolve itself in a great way, because for a week they've been looking for this young man. And yeah, I have thoughts about the grandmother, but I want to. She was not named a suspect, and I want to. Give her some grace at the moment. I know that I would want one, and who you know, I know a lot of people enable their children and don't think that they're capable of doing terrible things. That's just how life is. You know, I get it. I understand why somebody would want to believe the best in their children. And just because she is, you know, angry, you see her lashing out at people, all of that, everything that we've accused her of, her rap sheet all the way back, all of that does not make her a child killer. And I want to make that very clear. That's my stance. Just because she's had problems with drugs and domestic, you know, disputes with her boyfriends or husbands or whatever, it's a far cry from what happened to this young boy. It's a far cry. Darla Durden says she raised one murder. Look, the boy was 17. This girl's 22. I mean, it doesn't seem like she's not. I do not believe that this is her motive in life is to raise criminals. Who knows what has gone on in her life? You know, a lot of people live really harsh lives. Strawberry Kisses says, and this is a great question, if she believed the best in her daughter, why did she take custody of the boys? Well, because that's what you try to do, to try to help your children. I'm not going to fault her for that. One thing that will be interesting when it comes out, and we'll have that conversation when it comes to it, is what did the grandmother know about possible abuse claimed by the babysitter? That's going to be a question that's going to need to be answered. Because if it is true, then that is a problem. I'm not saying that she's going to be prosecuted for anything, nor do I honestly think that she should, if she didn't have direct knowledge of this crime, because it doesn't seem, it seems as though she was desperately looking for answers. The only person that wasn't looking for answers seemed to be the one that has all the answers, but claims that she doesn't because she doesn't remember anything, which is a lie. You know, I think the grandmother already does blame herself. And Brenda Chick says, I'm living a harsh life, but would never hurt my family or murder anyone. I agree. Yeah, I don't know what she knows. If they're gonna try to use the postpartum defense, I don't know. I doubt that postpartum trials are not an easy one either. Because I just don't think that they had one. Oh, what was it? I can't remember. Let me see. Yeah, I put the postpartum thing is going to be a tough one. I'm sure that she's going to try it. Tough question. Was Quentin put in trash for morning pickup? I do not know. I do not know, but I mean, that's one of the theories that it, quote unquote, was trash day. And the way that works, by the way, is, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but each section of each area that is picked up is dumped in certain spots and logged. Now, these are big piles of trash still, but they can go through them, and it sounds like that may be what's happening. So, they're not looking blindly. That's not how that works. It's sectioned off. There's logs, and there's certain areas that that are dumped in. So that would be what they're doing. But that's how that works. If the grandmother wasn't in the home that morning, then Quentin shouldn't have been there either. Once again, that's something that is going to be talked about. It's something that's going to be talked about. I don't see any prosecutor prosecuting her for that, though. There are things called, I don't know. They do show some grace in this situation. Like, if she left the child knowing that the mother was physically abusive to the kids and didn't do anything about it, I'm sure that some charges could be brought, but I don't think that any charges would be brought against her. Because, like I said, what is her name? Casey's mother. I can't remember her name. I remember Cindy Anthony. Sorry, got all these just random cases. Cindy Anthony lied to investigators, saying that she was at home the day that chloroform was searched, when in fact it was proven that she was at work. Now, they gave her grace on this. Should they? I don't know. What do they call it? Let me find the word. I can't remember it. Anyway, they show leniency because of what was going on. Let me see here. So Regina Rice says, Mama killed him and Grandma let this happen. They are both guilty. I mean, Regina, I'm guessing that's just an emotional. That's just something, you're passionate and emotional about. And I understand that. I really do. But we can't say that the grandmother let this happen. That to me isn't. First of all, we have no proof of that. Second of all, discretion. There it is. Bam. Love America. Prosecutorial discretion. Good Lord. Mom and grandma, toxic duo. I don't disagree. No, it wasn't probable cause. It was prosecutorial tool. Prosecutorial discretion. That's exactly what it was called. Do not know the answer to that, Tracy. We don't know the answer to that, but I'm sure that we will. Right, but you're going to get into like legal jargon here, and I've heard people say, well, she shouldn't have been in custody of those kids at all. And look, you're not going to get an argument with me out of that. But unfortunately, and look, there's a reason that she didn't have custody of the children, but I don't know in Georgia or whatever if it is illegal. And that maybe that's why they hired the babysitter. Has anybody thought about that? Maybe that's why they did have a babysitter. Obviously, it wasn't a 24-hour-a-day thing. But even when she wasn't working, there still seemed to be a babysitter in the house. Susie Ocean, it's a hard word to pronounce. Kelly K says just having the parts to make a baby doesn't mean you should. I agree with that as well. Sometimes what is legal is still not what is ethical. Kitten Claus, I agree with you on that. However, it's a practice that happens all the time. Grandparents have now. Once again, it's hard to really speculate down this road because we don't know what she lost custody for. And we don't know. I'm sure that there are not different laws, but each situation is different on what is and isn't allowed through the court system. And I don't know which one that is. I really don't. I don't know if, it may be somewhere. Yeah, maybe somewhere in the legal jargon, or it was established that I don't know. We'd have to really see it. I don't know if she had custody for all three. Maybe. I mean, that's a long time, right? That is why. That's why I am curious. Maybe she did think that, during the day, but at nighttime the mother can handle it. I don't know. Kim, do you think that she got mad at the boyfriend and took it out on the baby? I don't know, but it sounds as though Leilani has had lots of trouble before, and you could see it when Billy Billy Joe was talking about sometimes she does the right things and then sometimes she doesn't. But I do know that she was ordered to pay child support starting November 1st. Imagine that. Right. Exactly where the wind blows. That's what I'm saying. Like from 6 to 6. That's a lot. That's a long time. I mean, that's all day. That covers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And basically all you got to do is put the kids to bed at 8. I don't know what time kids go to bed. Like, I think probably 7 or 8 when you're that young. So there's not a lot of time. But once again, she was ordered by a judge to pay child support on 2 children. Cheryl says, I just find it all so sad. I agree with you. I mean, there's nothing good about this case, and it's just, like I said, it's went from tragic to worse in a really, really short amount of time. Maybe she was experiencing postpartum depression. I don't know that much about postpartum. I know that it is a thing and that women absolutely do suffer from it. I haven't really known anybody personally that's went through it, but kind of secondhand, and it's awful. And I don't even know how they treat it but if you're having those kind of issues, you got to get help, right? I mean, am I wrong? I don't know. Killing the baby is not the answer. I know that. Yeah, I'm sure she'll try and use it. Teresa, it's confirmed that the mother has had issues with drugs. And for that matter, the grandmother also did. I know that's a fact. I saw the record, but I mean, I don't really care when it comes to the grandma. That's not really, that's not really relevant to the current situation, but the mother's drug use and habits are. They certainly are. I was 16 when my first daughter was born. I thank my mama for my raising. We are to be role models for our kids. I have been married since I was 15. He was 17. This grandmother blows my mind. Yeah, I understand. I understand. I've heard this, but I don't know. Joan Kelly says, I had postpartum when my twins were born 2 months early, but it got better once my twins came home from the the nursery. intensive care unit. I don't know what the ICU is, but I'm guessing it's like prenatal, nursery. I feel like I'm trying to decipher one of the Zodiac's codes here, and I'm overthinking it. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna guess this. NNICU. Nope, ain't got it. In ICU. Neonatal. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't even close. Not even close. Shocker. I tried. Neonatal intensive care unit. Okay. You learn something every day. John, thank you for your comment. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Who's Your Mama says, my heart just broken. I don't think any of us will ever understand, and we shouldn't. And that's the thing. We shouldn't understand. There's nothing to understand. You can't explain it. There's nothing to explain. And there's nothing that she can say that'll change my mind. Oh, you did what? Oh, okay. Well, that's all better. Nah, that's just that'll never happen. That'll never, ever, ever happen. Grammy B says, thank God for my parents for stepping up to help raise my amazing sons who aren't perfect, but are wonderful human beings. I had my oldest at 17 and my baby at 19. I had kids very young as well. And I had help and advice and support all the time, all the way. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. I can't think of nothing but that baby's face. Yeah. A second. Exactly. It's funny. It's not funny. My sister used to always, and when I say always, I mean all the time. She was, when her kids were younger, and her kids are the same age as my kids, but she would say things like, and I used to just think that they were so ridiculous and that she was being so dramatic. And she would say, if anything happens to me, will you promise to take care of my kids? And I'd say the same thing every time. I'd say, nothing's going to happen to you. And then she said, just promise me. And I said, well, okay. I mean, yeah, I promise you, but nothing's going to happen to you. It's not going to happen. And she would ask me this probably 2 or 3 times a year for like 3 years. Finally, we had to put it in writing to make her feel better. But it was a thing, and nobody expects any of this bad stuff to go on or whatever. I'm so angry and sad. Has it been confirmed anywhere? It's been confirmed that the police and the FBI have informed the family that they do not believe that young Quinton Simon is alive. And they also are holding a press conference tomorrow. And I'm sure we'll get some more detail as we move along. It's really unbelievable. Your sister, Roger. You know, yeah, she's great. We had a disagreement this morning. I think she's still a little mad at me, but it wasn't it wasn't a big deal. It was just, we take turns with the kids, you know, driving them to school, but they're not really that young anymore. But, she'd been late a couple times, and I made a remark. She didn't take too kindly to it. But I was just probably being an agitator. Yeah, they must have found evidence in that house. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. If she's confessed or whatever, then, you know, they certainly need to arrest her, but no charges as of yet. I had my first child when I had just turned 16, had my youngest at 18. Never once did I think of hurting them or starving them or neglecting them. And I have a mental illness, and also just saying. Yeah, Jessica, that's kind of the thing that's going on right now. Yes, that's... yeah, I don't know. I believe that she's being questioned at this time, or she was. So she hasn't been charged with anything. Maybe that'll change tomorrow. Maybe that will change tomorrow. Yeah, he's pretty amazing. Just a little innocent soul. Sue Steph 73 says she does remember, but she does not remember, but she remembered enough to be ashamed and hide her face. Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, that's Tracy, that's a great point here. She's saying that she doesn't remember, but she admits to the mother that he's in a landfill. Did I call you Jessica? I'll call you whatever you want. I'm sorry, Jesse. I really am. I didn't mean to do that. So Joan Kelly, it wasn't the dad. He's the boyfriend that shares a child with her. And apparently the other two, when I said Quentin and the oldest boy, Zane, I believe that she has kids with 3 different men. And, you know, that's going to be a nightmare as well. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for that. They also saying she told a friend she is going to play crazy. Of course she is. Well, she doesn't have any other choice. Well, no, she does have a choice. She could just take what's coming to her and admit what she did is one of the most heinous things that she's ever done, or that anybody could ever do. once again, I just go back to it here, folks, and I sound like a broken record, but these people that are having children and they're not nurturing, they're not protecting, they're not doing all the things that is given to you instinctually by years and years of just evolutionary genetics. I mean, you are wired to care about your children like nothing else. Even the animals do that. Now, I'm not saying everybody's brain works the same, but if you end up killing your child or accidentally killing your child, and Dawn and Candace, this goes for you too. I'm not done with you either, because I'm just not. And you hide it, but you're mental, but you hide it. You're obviously not mental enough. I'll tell you what's mental. Trigger warning here. I knew a guy. I'll tell you this story right now. This is nuts. Many years ago, I had a friend. His name was Dave, and Dave is a friend of mine that he fell off a fishing boat some years back. I can't remember. It's been 12, 13 years. And he had a nephew named Vinny. Vinny was weird and extremely weird. Vinny was weird. He always made me uncomfortable. Always. I'm going to tell you a story about crazy. Okay? He always made me uncomfortable. And, I was hanging out with Dave, and Dave was, older than me. I was his kid's age, but we played music together, and then we just kind of formed a real good friendship. But I'm going to tell you what crazy is, folks. All right? Dave's not here, man. That's true. He's not. Don't be like Vinny. Well, you don't know about Vinny. You don't know about Vinny. I know about Vinny, but trust me, you're about to know about Vinny. Vinny wasn't just weird. He just made me uncomfortable. Just the look in his eyes. I don't know what it was. And I would tell Dave, I go, Dave, I would say, Dave, what's up with Vinny? He creeps me out, and he goes, dude, come on. He doesn't have any. He's like, meet me at Starbucks. So we'd go to Starbucks, and he's like, hey, it's just so. I haven't thought about this in a really long time. So what he would say, he would be like, hey, I invited Vinny. I'm like, God, why would you do that? It's like, dude, he doesn't have a. I'm like, but come on, man. He really. He creeps me out, and he's like, yeah, man, I get it. He's like weird. But he's harmless. And I thought, oh, great, he's harmless. One night, about a month or so after that whole conversation, we're having a card night. We're playing poker. Vinny somehow, some way ends up with my friend Brad, which is Dave's son. Brad comes over to my house, brings Vinny. I didn't invite the guy because I was weirded out by him. He just looked at me funny, man. And I didn't want to fight the guy because crazy people are really good at fighting. I just knew that there was something off about him. And Vinny was a little drunk at the time. So we're playing we're playing poker, and I have this knife. I had this knife under my coffee table. It was about this big. It was huge. It was like a buck knife, and it was serrated, and it was just there, It wasn't really sharp or anything. It wasn't. Anyway, Vinny picked up the knife. Lovely, right? Oh, great. Vinny's got a knife. And he was in the military, okay? So what Vinny would do was he'd do these little tricks with the knife. Oh, great. Vinny's got the knife. Friggin'. So I'm looking at him. He's sitting literally like right here. Look, and I'm going, okay, this isn't good. And I'm looking around. I'm going, hey, does anybody notice that Vinny, I didn't say this, but Vinny's got the knife, guys. Got the knife. Well, so anyway, he looks at me and he said, this is what he says to me. Do you like my knife, Josh? Like that. Just, do you like my knife? And I said, huh? Do you like my knife? And he's like spinning it. Like, cause he was in the military. He knows knows knife tricks, I guess. And it was very impressive what he was doing with the knife. And he says, hey, I'm talking to you. And I said, I heard you, Vinny. And that's not your knife. I was starting to get pissed. So it's my knife. And he goes, it's my knife. I said, fine, have it. I don't give a shit about the knife. And my friend Dave stands up, which is Vinny's uncle, and he says, hey, Vinny, get downstairs right now. Like, he's pissed. He's like, you're embarrassing me in front of my friends. What's your problem? Why are you acting weird? Da, da, da. And I'm going, and I'm looking at my friend Brad, who I've known forever. I said, why'd you bring him? Vinny obviously doesn't like me, and I'm scared of the guy. Which I was. And they take him downstairs, and I can hear him outside, and he's kicking the side of the car. He's upset. And his uncle's yelling at him. Now, folks, I haven't even got to the worst part yet. So just hang tight. I read in the paper one day that Vinny has attacked the front door of a place here in town called the Inglemar Club with a hatchet. And I'm going, I always knew. Trust me, it gets worse. It gets way worse. He took a hatchet to the front door of this prestigious place. And I'm reading it in the paper going, oh my God, what the hell? I'm going, I always knew. Fast forward, 3 years later, something like that. Meet Vinny. Vinny Sanchez sentenced to 40 years to life for last year's Eureka double murder. News Channel 3 and the Times Standards are reporting that 29-year-old Vincent Sanchez was sentenced in court today to life in prison with the possibility of parole after serving 40 years. Sanchez was detained back in March at the scene of a double homicide in Eureka. The victims, Sanchez's half-brother, 25-year-old Lance Henry, and 60-year-old Rick Story, both died of gunshot wounds to the head. Sanchez pled guilty to the crimes in December. He lived in that house with those dead bodies, didn't try to hide them. The cops showed up, and he admitted to everything. He killed his own half-brother. What do you think he'd have done to me? Dave had passed away before this happened. So I was never able to say, not that I would have. But I every time I see Brad, I say, hey, Brad, you remember when you brought Vinny over to my house? He's like, yeah. I said, oh, okay. Sorry. Thanks. I'm not even his half brother. Look what he did to his half brother and roommate, and then lived in the house for like 2 days. Folks, that he didn't even plead like he was crazy. He didn't even act like he was crazy. He didn't act like he was mental. He's mental, but what he did was really mental. He didn't even try and cover it up. Because that's what crazy people do. Crazy people don't commit a crime and then try and cover it up. Vinny's crazy. He could have very well lunged at me with that knife. Thank God Dave was there, and it seemed like he was kind of scared of his uncle, but I mean, he killed his own half brother. We were sitting next to a ticking time bomb, a future double homicide guy who just slept in the same house. Literally in the paper said that he had to walk over dead bodies in the house to get to the kitchen. That's what was going on. Oh, he's got some terrible mugshots. This is a real mugshot of Vinny, you guys. All right, I'm going to tell you this right now. Oops. I'm not even kidding. This was in the North Coast Journal. Oh God, wait till you see this. Wait till you see this Vinny mugshot. There he is. My buddy Vinny. No joke. That's him being arrested. I mean, what the fuck? It wasn't that hard to see that he was nuts. Look at the guy. I mean, good Lord. Dead eyes. He's got a dead eye. I think he was. I don't even know if he was goofing off there. He's got some really bad mugshots, to be honest. He's got a lot of them too. But that's an all-timer, guys. That's an all-timer. Somebody get Angel out of here. I know, dude. I know. And trust me, I try not to think about it. I mean, it happened so long ago, but at the same time, this guy was sitting in my house playing cards, drinking beer, spinning my knife around going, do you like my knife? He didn't like me. And the reason he didn't like me is because I wouldn't talk to him. Thank you. Because I wouldn't talk to the guy. I just wouldn't. Sorry. I didn't like him. Yeah, I definitely could have been his breakfast. Yes. Thank you for the laugh and for not fighting that crazy dude. You think I'm going to fight that guy? Oh, Alicia, I felt those bad vibes. And by the way, I don't think it was a secret. I just think that they were trying to help the guy and show him a little bit of, and I understand it. And look, I didn't think that he was going to be a double murderer sentenced to 40 years. I thought it was bad enough when he attacked the front door of this prestigious mansion with a hatchet. And I was just like, was he in Vietnam? he's my age. How's he going to be in Vietnam? I mean, he'd have been a great candidate for it, but no, he wasn't in Vietnam. I wish he was in Vietnam, because then he wouldn't have been around me. That would have been nice. That was the thing too. He always wanted to like go play tennis. Hey, you guys want to go play tennis? No, I don't want to go play tennis with you, Vinny. You basically threatened to stab me. Oh, come on. I was just joking. No, thank you. You watch too many movies. I know. But do you understand that Leilani can play crazy? And if that was really the case, she wouldn't have covered anything up. Oh no, I'm sorry, Kat. He's my age. No, he wasn't in Nam, but he looks old enough to be in Nam. So I get what you're saying. Like if you look at these photos, he looks, I mean, like a guy that dyes his hair. He played squash. Look at those eyes. I know, dude. I'm telling. Where's the ball? You want to go play tennis? No. And I hate tennis. So don't ask me. I told you, and the thing, we went to school together and everything. And I walk by in the hall and I'd say like, hey, what's up? And then I do it and I go, oh, I get the shivers. Heidi Lamar, thank you for being here. But yeah, I would just get the shivers, bro. Bad. Like, oh, Vinny's not so bad. Well, he didn't wave your knife around. And by the way, we went to high school, like he was the kid, because I was friends with his cousins, and he was, he was always in the circle, but he never talked. Like what I mean with it, like you stand in a circle at break and everybody's yapping it up. And he would just stand there like this. By the way, he's not wearing a shirt in that. This is when he was arrested. Look at that. Look at his little Humboldt shirt. It's like, oh yeah, I did it. I bet that cop was probably like, man, I did not expect this to happen today. Brings back terrible memories, that's for sure. Golly. So anyway, just wanted to share that story with you. You want to talk crazy, then okay. She ain't crazy. She's just mean and stupid. That's all Leilani is. And whatever she did, she tried to hide it, and she's a terrible person. Yeah, Adam Sandler and little Nicky. Oh, that's funny. Correct. There for attendance, but absent from participating. He certainly was absent from participating. Hey, you want to go play tennis? It's amazing. I take no offense to that statement, but I'm first of all, I'm not, and then second of all, what is it? Gina, I like to shut that pretty mouth. What the hell does that mean? Yeah, it's just, let's go play tennis. Don't talk to me, Vinny. Why? Why not? Because you were looking at me with my own knife. I told him to. I said, just keep the friggin' thing. I don't even want it. I know. I tried. I don't know. Yeah. Hashtag stay away from Vinny. Well, look, he's got another 30-something years, so maybe he'll forget. He probably, I don't know. He probably, matter of fact, let me see here. Hold on. Give me a second here. BMO. And I was just telling the story about when your cousin Vinny that you brought over to my house when I told you not to grab my knife. Remember that?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah. And then
It got a little awkward.
you think? Try not to bring those kind of people over anymore.
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue nowadays.
I understand. All right, man. I just wanted to call and say hi and remind you that you almost got me killed a long time ago. Talk to you later. Bye. There you go. Oh, my God. He remembers. He said, oh, vaguely. Not vaguely my ass. Oh, look at that. Linda with the five gifted memberships. Let's see who gets them here. Barbara, Tracy, Rachel, Reese, Karen. Awesome. I know. I'm telling you, man. What a. He said it vaguely. Don't bring him over to my house anymore. I don't think that's going to be a problem for a while. Well, yeah, you're right about that. Thank God. Nothing. Maybe my cousin Vinny, Karen as well. Thank you guys. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here tonight. I know this hasn't. I tried to. I don't know if lightening the mood was the word, but whatever. It's just a terrible day, and I'm sorry. I'm glad that we were all able to discuss it and be here together and try to make some sense of the psychoticness in this world. And so I just want to thank you guys for being here and for your support. It means everything. You guys are the best. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what time, but I definitely will put up a community post. So make sure your notifications are on. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Blazing the steel. Bring the heat. Mixing non-stop. Non-stop. With the hottest DJ.
I'm your host, Joshua Deans.
Non-stop. Non-stop. Non-stop.